Okay, I'm going to try to add somebody to our video. Let's see if I can. I always have to figure out how to do this every time. We have a lot of awesome things to talk about. I'm so excited. Cher is so knowledgeable about this stuff. I can't wait. So excited. Okay, I just invited her. Hopefully she can be added. So we're going to talk about some topics today. Cholesterol, acid reflux, hormones, detox, and healing. I'm super excited because Cher is an expert in so many things and has personal experience with thyroid for sure, but helping hundreds and hundreds of people with the other issues that we just talked about. So let's see if I can get her on. I'm going to text her and tell her I'm on. Hey, Angie, I cannot wait to talk about your trip. I'm like super excited to hear all the things about your trip. I have been researching places to go, and as I watch your trip on Facebook, I'm obsessed. So we have to talk. We need to like get on the phone or Facebook or something or FaceTime and chat because I want to hear all about it. Okay, and I just messaged Cher to see if she can get on, hopefully. Okay, so Cher's story about thyroid is on my page. If you kind of scroll down, like my first live video that I did it was a couple months ago, but we talked about her whole thyroid story. But today we're going to talk a little bit more about thyroid and her detox story. Okay, here she is. Hi. Okay, let me see if I can hear. Are you here? Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, you're a little choppy too, though.
Can you see
I
me?
don't know why.
I have full bars and
Nope, keep your
earbuds
earbuds
in. Do you want
in.
me to take my
Otherwise,
earbuds
it
out?
does not work. I discovered this the hard way. So.
Okay.
Okay, yep, I can hear
Tell
you.
me if this
So
is
I
okay.
put all the subjects out there. So let's start with cholesterol. So I've had a lot of questions about this lately, people asking me about it because Bridget, my first little Facebook Live interview, she talked about cholesterol and it's a hot topic for people and kind of, I think one of the misconceptions is as we age, we're supposed to, and like fill in the blanks, like we're supposed to have aches and pains, there's cholesterol supposed to go up, our blood pressure is supposed to get worse, like all these things are supposed to happen, but that's a myth. As we age, we don't go through all those things. We can age gracefully and healthfully. And so cholesterol is an issue that comes up often. So what do you know about blood sugar balance and nutritional support that would help cholesterol issues?
Yep. Totally. Okay, sorry. You probably saw me walk in to get my computer doing this. Sorry about that. So I first want to address what you just said about aging and aging gracefully, because if there's one thing that I feel like I kind of maybe over preach is that we try to avoid aging and some natural things. What we should be confident that we can avoid is unnecessary discomfort, for sure. We can avoid sicknesses, illnesses, inflammation, horrible diagnoses that come from bad bacteria overgrowth and all these things. But there's a but to all of that. It's okay to age. So, for example, when we talk about hormones, as we know, hormones totally change. I mean, my story is full of fertility issues. And that's going to be something I know we'll touch on in a minute when it comes to like menopause symptoms and all of that. But there are ways that are beneficial to age and things that we can make better and things that we have to realize are just kind of a natural ebbing and flowing. And so we'll talk about cholesterol first. I wanted to pull my notes up really quickly because I have some actual data and stats on it. You guys can tell I'm hiding in my bedroom. This is how I hide from my kids. All right, so cholesterol, direct link to our underlying root causes when it comes to cholesterol. Tori, yes. Can you hear me okay? Perfect, okay. Direct correlation. So you hear a lot, especially with Plexus. They're not the only ones that address certain issues, but they are by far the best. And my opinion on that is because of the ease of their system and that they purposefully focus on underlying root causes. And so they've made it the most affordable and the most doable than any manufacturer I've ever found. And we can talk about that another time. But I can tell you right now that Tori knows I'm a research freak and I cannot find anything better. And I'm pretty bold about that. So cholesterol
people you talked to who have said, yeah. I tried everything until.
Oh,
Perfect.
I mean, we can't count, can we? Yeah, we can't count. Yeah, it's true. And I felt that way too. I literally thought I had tried everything. I mean, when dear Brooke Hemingway told me about this new Plexus manufacturer, this company, I literally shook my head like, there's no way. I tried everything. And so I always tell people, like, stay open, because you have been searching, you know, you'll wait till you hear this type of thing. So yeah, for sure. Cholesterol is not unlike many, many other issues that are super common, and that it's directly tied into underlying root causes. And I'm going to read you a little bit of data on it, because hopefully some of you who are watching right now have either begun to learn a little bit about blood sugar balance and gut health and Plexus specifically, methylated vitamins. Hopefully some of that is becoming really common on Tori's page, because she does such a great job of teaching. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So let's talk first of all, our slim drink, our pink drink, okay? Like our famous pink drink. In and of itself, just pink drink alone, has a, there you go, show and tell, has an ingredient called alpha lipoic acid. Years and years ago, gosh, 15, I was told by a functional medicine doctor who was also an MD to get on alpha lipoic acid. It is fantastic. Please take the time to research it yourself. Alpha lipoic acid and Garcinia cambogia, both in our pink drink, both in Slim, reduce cholesterol, okay, reduce the bad cholesterol. Also, scrolling down, chromium, also in Slim, same thing, lowers bad, increases good, stabilizes. So that's just our drink alone. So I always tell people, I know you really want to balance your gut. Please do not separate balancing your gut from balancing your blood sugar. They go hand in hand. The 3 root causes are intertwined. Please don't just pick one. Sure, you might feel some relief. You might say, hey, that was worth it. That was great. You have no idea what to compare it to until you balance all 3, right? So in the pink drink alone, those ingredients, chromium picolinate, alpha lipoic acid, Garcinia cambogia, all 3 of them are fantastic with cholesterol, both enhancing the good and decreasing the bad. Then we go to Plexus's probiotic, Probio 5, same thing, has a very, very important ingredient. It is the...
I can look too, probably.
Okay. I got it right there. Gosh, I can't even say all these. The Boulardi one, that I hate to pronounce it. You want to pronounce it? Saccharomyces, whatever, one of those, directly linked to cholesterol. The 5 strains of probiotics that were selected for Probio 5 are your fundamental strains. It's super, super important that you also try to eat probiotics, okay? There's many, many ways to get probiotics into your system. I bake bread with a starter. My husband loves sauerkraut. We drink kombucha. There's a lot of ways to do it. Of course, Greek yogurt. But the 5 strains in Probio 5 were very purposefully hand selected for such a wide range of what they basically cover. So it's a good catch-all. It is not replacing your overall intake of probiotics, but you are for sure going to be lacking in probiotic support if you just try to eat your probiotics. So anyway, there's my little spiel about Probio 5. But both of those products,
it's okay,
critical.
I do this, and this for my gut. And like, that's great. And that's wonderful. Same thing with trying to eat all your fruits and vegetables. That's great. I don't believe it from my research that you can eat of your fruits and vegetables and the nutrients that we need. We just can't. There's not enough. Right.
The research 100% supports that. So you're spot on. And I also skipped one. Magnesium is critical for decreasing bad cholesterol. And that's going to be in our BioCleanse. So Triplex alone, those 3 products are
Plus
key
as well, right?
for your cholesterol questions.
Yeah.
I can keep going. I got a whole list, but you get the idea, right? I mean, the bottom line is there is not a system that we focus on that does not benefit cholesterol.
Awesome. So that's helpful, because I have a few people that are interested right now in getting started, and they have also, let's talk about how long it's going to take. This is not a 3-week fix for cholesterol. I have heard 5 months is a happy spot for cholesterol from a few people. What do you know?
A lot of people do say that. For me, it was a 4-month mark. I did not have a cholesterol problem, but I'm talking specifically about the hormone balance piece. There are a lot of people who have cholesterol benefits really early on. This is the best statement to say for people on timing. The medical average for balancing is a 3 to 6 month window. That's going to be your catch-all for anything. It doesn't have to just be cholesterol or heart disease or diabetes or any other thing that you want improvement on. The 3 to 6 month window is really a magical time. So what Tori just said, that 5 months, fits perfectly within that. And then like for me, my hormones and a lot of my situations, my thyroid, my migraines, my weight, all of that, I had a 4-month magical time for me. It does not mean that people have to wait 4 months to see a benefit. My first month, I was on cloud 9. My sugar cravings were gone, legitimately gone. My sleep, unbelievably deeper, not waking up in the night with that mind chatter and not being able to fall back asleep. Many, many encouraging things week over week over week. But what I'm trying to say is on my 4-month mark, literally like everything had snowballed, and it was just a really magical time for me at 4 months that I can actually earmark. So yeah, I think 5 months might be safe on really bad situations, but it doesn't mean don't start it because you don't want to wait 5 months, right?
From start, you're going to feel it's going.
It's going to come.
I think it's getting worse. And I have found that we notice when we feel terrible, but sometimes when we feel good again, we don't notice. I've had those moments too where I'm like, I actually had this conversation with Charlie yesterday. I said, because I had a headache, and I was like, I have a headache, and I haven't had a headache in so long. Like this, what's going on? You know, and he's like, I said, imagine how many headaches I would have had in the last, few months. And he said, you don't remember what life was like before, but I do. And I was like, was it that? He was like, it was that bad.
Really?
He's like, he went through all the list of like, you were sick all the time, you were bloated all the time, you always complained about your stomach, your periods are terrible, your moods were awful. I was like, eek, it was like, it was a terrible moment, but I was like, oh my gosh, because you just don't realize when you feel good and when life goes on, but you do notice when your life is impacted. So this is a good segue into thyroid, because yes, it took 4 or 5 months to get to your sweet spot, but in that time, if you go to the doctor and your numbers look worse, what is that? And if you gain weight when you're like, this is supposed to be a weight loss medicine, do weight loss, and what happened? What do you do? What's going on? What's happening?
Yep, I can speak to that one. Tori teed me right on up for that one. So I had both of those, and I was very jealous of people that I knew who were doing this that did not have kind of detox negative symptoms, because only 30% of people do. And so that means 70% of people just love it right out of the chute. And I'm like, I had some negative things. Luckily, I had a great doctor who had prepped me for it, and I had researched it. So this is the deal. For me, I'm going to say the super scary stuff first and then have you stick with me on it. I did have weight gain. It was not in the double digits. It was in the single digits, but I don't like seeing 7, 8, 9 pounds go up when I'm being so diligent and so good, right? That happened for me. I researched. Why would I possibly have weight gain when I'm being diligent? Which means not just with my supplements and my water, but even with my food consumption. I was being really diligent.
Your cravings went down. So
what was that? Totally. So why would I have weight gain? Guess what I learned? When you're detoxing, your cells are detoxing. A common part of detoxing is your cells will flush and fill with water. I knew that I was not eating in such a way to gain stored fat. Okay. Stored fat is the key. Is my weight gain stored fat? Did I deserve it? Did I earn it? Okay. I knew the answer was no. So because of that, I had to stay in my head a little bit and not like remember what I was taught and stick with it, toe the line, right? Because my cells were flushing and filling with water. There's also a little bit of bloating as you detox, and that's a good sign. It means the probiotic is breaking down all of those horrible toxins. Toxins are being released. We detox through the liver. We detox through pee, poop, and sweat. We need water, and we need patience, because guess what? If I was going to be a little bit gun shy because of a few pounds, I promise you that my health, if I didn't go through it, would be exponentially worse than the very limited, we're talking weeks, you guys, not that long, that I did go through it. Totally worth it. Small price to pay. And guess what happened? I had about 35 pounds to lose. Okay. I go up 9 pounds, just shy of 9 pounds. It felt like 9. I'm going to say 9. Okay. But guess what? Dropped to 35. Am I glad now that I went up to go down? Yes. Why? Because slow and steady was permanent. I had always had to yo-yo diet, force those cravings, really just try to strong arm, convince myself I do have willpower. It wasn't about willpower. I had to get rid of the bad bacteria overgrowth in my gut where my cravings were coming from, listen to the cues when my cravings went away, and then give my body the time to heal. And it completely came off. And it's never come back. Sure, I just came back from a vacation. We ate road food the whole time. I probably could lose 3 or 4 pounds right now. I don't care. I had to be, on a road trip and have road food, I know my body will go right back because it completely did before and my health was better. So there's the weight loss one.
Yeah.
And then the other one was
exactly.
the thyroid labs.
Or like, oh my gosh, I went to the
hormone
doctor, my thyroid numbers are worse. This stuff has, ruined my thyroid.
Yeah, and not just thyroid hormones, many hormones, okay? I had 2 lab draws back to back that were worse when I was balancing. Totally counterintuitive, right? And Brooke and Thomas Hemingway talk about this quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I think he's even done like a podcast or something on it. This is why. Hormones are super subjective, you guys. They are so touchy. They are affected by diet. They are affected by sleep. They are affected by mood, environment. So many things affect hormones. When you detox, that in and of itself is also a form of inflammation. It's a necessary one, but it is a form of inflammation. You're detoxing. Your body's kind of in protection mode, right? Hormones are super touchy. They respond to that. So my first 2 lab draws, I would always get my labs drawn somewhere between 3 and 6 months, every 3 and 6 months, year over year over year. The first 2 were worse. I'm like, what the heck? I couldn't believe it. But guess what? From then on, better and better and better, and never got worse again. So again, remember that our hormones are super touchy, super subjective. Take the time it takes. Be careful. Hang on, I'm going to turn off some. And then continue with it. And then you'll hear when it comes to hormones that a lot of results are the exact same. Hormones should not be considered on a 1-time or even a 2-time lab draw at all. And not even just hormone results. Other lab results, blood lab results, if you're measuring things like cholesterol, like your inflammation, like your hormones, you never take one and done, ever. And good doctors will show you the research on this, that there is one lab draw could be that day. You may have had multiple days in that month that were improved, and the day you got your lab draw, it was poorer. You've got to step back, do a bird's eye view, look at several of them to get a full picture. And that is just the facts when it comes to labs. So, okay. Did I belabor that point too much?
By the minute. Yes, for sure. The thing about detox, though, the detox, it throws our systems off because we're in the detox. The detox takes a few months. After that, you should feel better. If you're experiencing detox, another thing that you've taught me is that it's a good sign. That means we're on. That means like I'm figuring this out now. If Probio 5 makes you feel incredibly worse, that means we need to do some liver detox because it's pushing all those toxins out of your body too fast. And your body's been trying to get rid of it because our bodies are resilient and they want to feel better. They want to heal. Our bodies try to come to that place of homeostasis and heal. And so if you're feeling worse, that means we need to do some liver detox and we need to keep going slowly. But that means that's a good sign.
You should be super grateful because that junk in there that's making you feel worse as you detox will give you more and more diagnoses year over year if you left it in there. So let it come out. And also, you made me think of something. When you said that it could take a couple weeks or a couple months, it is not the same for many. I know one person who went through detox once. It was one bad week. Like it doesn't have to be the same for everybody. And do not be afraid of detox. You guys, my detox was no different than the discomfort I had lived with for decades. That was my detox. My migraines, I had several. Well, guess what? I had 3 to 5 migraines a week my whole life. So my detox, yes, I had a few migraines. Is that any different than what I had lived through?
I did not really have detox. The only thing I had, I think I messaged you a few times about gas. I was like, a little uncomfortable with it.
Yeah. Stuff's coming out.
I'm considering, I had a moment where I was like, is this stuff gonna work for me? That whole like, is this gonna work for me? And then I even thought about like adding an extra something else, and then it went away. All of a sudden it was fine because it was not that 3 or 4 month mark. It was after Kona because I was in Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii having sticky problems, but that's just part of and getting that GI tract going. Okay, so let's talk about acid reflux because that's one that I have never with except through helping my people, and it goes away. I've seen it go away within the first month of getting your gut healed pretty quickly. So talk to me about, that's just like, it's a standard, like acid reflux is a gut issue, period, end of discussion. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so acid reflux. So we have a whole GI system. And a lot of people think when they hear GI system that it's just our intestines, our gut. That is not true. Our GI system begins in our mouth, our esophagus, all the way the food to our stomach, and then small intestine, large intestine. So that's our entire GI system. And I had this fantastic doctor who I won't say decades, plural, 15 years ago, taught me about our GI system and acid reflux. I actually had a child, a little infant, who had a really bad acid reflux. And of course, the pediatrician wanted to put her on Prevacid and all those things to help it. And this doctor of mine was like, don't you dare. What's burning up here, that acid reflux, is a necessary bacteria. It's the bacteria that we need to be in our gut. It's just going the wrong direction. And it's going the wrong direction because your child needs probiotics. I'm like, really? She says, yeah, you got to help it draw the other direction, get the system going in the correct direction, which typically when you have a bad bacteria overgrowth, which I did pass on to my infant, okay? I mean, I'm completely to blame. She had thrush. She had it all. Your bacteria begins to kind of back up and go the wrong direction instead of work for you and be in a constant state of movement going the correct direction, okay? So if you kill off that bacteria that is causing the pain, and you guys, I'm not just talking acid reflux, I'm talking heartburn. Some people justify it as heartburn, which is a precursor. Esophageal illnesses, all that burning, those are actually needed in the gut. They're just up in a place that hurts us, that we feel that we don't want it to be. You heal the gut and everything will begin to flow back down. It'll flow back down the correct direction. So if you kill off those chemical feeling bad bacteria that are burning us, you're actually destroying very critical things that our body needs instead of just moving them to where they belong. I was so grateful. It was so eye-opening to me to know that I would be doing long-term damage to my child. I know people who've done it themselves by killing it, by these, again, I hate to call out any medication names, but these, the little purple pill,
I did not know this stuff. And I've said it before, this is why I share. Because if I had known this stuff back then, 10 years ago, I would never have given my child that. And I did. I have such mom guilt over it. But I did because
well, and the exponential things that happened after. Yeah. I mean, I had that. My daughter had a lot of repercussions because I did put her for 6 weeks on it, So I cut you off, Tori. I'm sorry.
All of us who've had these stories, I feel like we learn about our health through suffering, right? We didn't know.
We didn't know.
Same thing. I wonder what I caused her, but.
I know. And you're right. That's such a motivator to share. I mean, I did not expect to share Plexus professionally. I had no plan of that or intention of that. And I'm with Tori. I literally cannot help myself now because I'm so grateful that a different mom in Brooke shared it with me, that a doctor who was also a mom and who'd read the studies told it to me. We have to share this far and wide.
Okay. So we talked about everything.
I have one more thing I want to share. Do you care? Really quickly, I just thought of. So the other day, I'm on a thread with some Plexus people, and we were talking about the sometimes common, not that much, but the sometimes common feedback that starting supplements makes you feel sick, has caused problems and made you ill. And I actually shared with some people my opinion of that and what I say to people. I'm going to read it because I think it's super, super important. And I think I'll probably write it up and do something myself on my own page about it. But when people try to almost convince me that the supplements made them sick, they didn't work for them, I had a bad reaction, I might be allergic, I've heard it all. You guys, there is nothing I haven't heard. It might sound really bold, but I'm usually really direct in letting people know that it is not possible. It's just not possible. And this is what I said, for nutrients to cause sickness. Think about that. It's just food. It's just crushed up plants. It's not possible for nutrients to cause sickness. It might seem like common sense to us here to say that out loud, but sometimes when you repeat that to somebody who's convinced that when I started these supplements, I got horrible heart palpitations. They think all these things happen. Their bodies were one of two things. I've heard people say that they got sick, they got flu symptoms, all sorts of things, okay? Their bodies were either severely overgrown and bad bacteria overgrowth and inflammation and of course hormone imbalance, right? Or they had already caught an unrelated bug, illness, completely unrelated. So let's see, this is the most important thing I want to say, so I'm going to read it. I kind of don't let people try to convince me, okay, and this is how I said it, that plant-based, organic, non-GMO, and GMP certified, look that up, okay? That is a huge compliment to receive as a supplement company. nutrients can give you an illness. It is not possible. And when you actually hear that and people think, oh gosh, maybe it was something inside of me already. I really work hard to teach that. Don't let detox talk you out of healing. So that's my highlight.
Right?
Don't let detox talk you out of healing.
Detox is the word we talk about all the time, but healing is the point. Healing, and you're talking about Luke, and how we heal from all things, and our body's really meant to heal. Our bodies want to heal.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to give it extra tools because our environment and our food and our everything is so full of toxins that we get overloaded. And even our kids, I've been researching this about why do my kids suffer from it? Because their little bodies and their little livers are not meant to handle this many toxins and our food and environment. So, you know, me, non-toxic person, I'm planning on doing some lives on all the non-toxic stuff I do because I'm super I love that stuff. I can't wait. But even though I am super non-toxic, my kids still have to detox because our environment is full of it. We have to heal. Yeah.
You are the best person I know to teach about that, to teach about toxins. Like seriously, you guys listen to her and watch for it when she does that.
I still have to work on detoxing my kids, you know, even though I don't have those typical toxins in our environment, they're everywhere. We cannot, you know, we can only do so much.
Yeah. Well, and kids are growing, so they are their own unique situation because we want to get them healthy, but then they grow, they hit a different stage, of development. We have to kind of adjust with them. You know, adults, it's almost a little bit, my favorite age group to detox is like post-puberty, but before 25. That group, they detox so fast, man. I'm so jealous of them, you know, but anyway.
And all their hormone fluctuations and all their stuff going on. They have so much stuff going on. I hear that all the time. Like, would my teenage daughter, you know, benefit from this? I mean, her hormones are crazy. I hear that all the time. Yes.
Yes, totally. And hormones, like, you know, I've got a little girl who's 4. I've got a son who's 9. They could not be more different in the way that their body needs these nutrients. But man, have they both exponentially benefited by being on them. I could list the before and after just in the children alone, let alone my story. Really, really powerful.
For the kids. Do the quick before and after for your kids, and then I'll let you go. Because we know you've already told your story.
Okay. I know. Yeah. No. So I can do it really quick. So with Luke, he seems to like his body, I guess, is the weak link in his body is going to be his sinuses. When he was sick, it was breathing. It was breathing through his nose. It was yucky mucus all the time, snoring, open mouth breathing, back-to-back pneumonia. I could go on and on. Antibiotics all the time, which I hated. Okay. Tori knows this. I hated it. I didn't know what to do. He couldn't breathe. When he did this, and again, he was little, so it didn't even take 8 days, but we had fought for 3.5 years. Took 8 days for him because he was like 5, years old. And he has never snored since, never had a sinus infection since, never had pneumonia since. All he had from age 2 to 5 was pneumonia, sinus infections, green snot, the whole thing all the time. Never, never, never again, has not come back. Just simply hasn't. Eden, my daughter, everything with her was lung, coughing. So Luke was up here, Eden was right here. And then she also had a lot of, the acid reflux, thrush, all those types of things too. And hormone stuff. She, little girls, we've talked a lot about how hormones and being kind of yeasty, to use your term, cradle cap. We've talked all about that. Gone, you guys, gone. And it didn't mean I didn't have to stay with it and watch her, because hormones in little girls will change from birth, toddler, the kind of, you keep on it, but you can. Before this, I didn't know what to do. I just either had her live with it or tried essential oils or coconut oil or all sorts of things to try to get it off, but it always came back because I didn't solve it. Sleep, you guys, kids have so many stages of development and sleep is critical for them. I can't tell you how this affected my children's sleep.
Research, so, Google it. Google cradle cap and yeast or fungus. Google thrush and cradle cap, or thrush and upper respiratory,
acid reflux,
anything, cough. I'm amazed at that one. That was one that people are like, But once you research it, you realize like there's an absolute 100% connection between yeast overgrowth and all the coughing and the sinus thing stuff. Yes.
Yep. Because what is phlegm? The body sends inflammation. The body sends mucus, right? I mean, we can control that, and we can help them thrive and be healthy and grow in a healthy state,
right?
So, yes, my kids don't have it anymore. Luke had them all the time. I had them like crazy. None. Brooke Hemingway, all 4 of her kids, they would never travel without a nebulizer. They never do.
It's fascinating to me. I mean, how many symptoms we the body sends us symptoms in order to find the problem, and the problem symptom. The problem is the underlying root cause. So yeah, thank you so much.
That's right.
You taught me a lot.
That's right. So, oh, anytime. I'm going to save this myself. I feel like you taught me on it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, please do. Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.